Listen to this. Okay, so the verb pedir is to ask for. The for is included. So in English, we add the prepositional phrase, right? To ask for something. I don't think we can use it without the prepositional for. I ask, if you're actually asking for an object, right? I say, I ask a pencil from my mom. I could. That's an acceptable expression, but it's not a common way. I ask the car from my dad. Yeah, it's doable, but it doesn't work. I ask the keys from my brother. It would work, but it just doesn't sound natural. Or it's not the most common way, right? So I ask for the keys from my brother, or I ask my brother for the keys. Somehow in there, the for's got to be in there somewhere for it to sound natural. So pedir in Spanish, the for is included in the verb. So when we say what pedir means, it means to ask for. Because what other way do we say to ask or to question? Preguntar. Oops. Trying to write on the document. Preguntar is to ask or a question. So if I'm asking for something, I'm not going to use preguntar. I'm going to use pedir. So if I say, my son asks for $10, okay? So I'd say, mi hijo me pido asks me for $10. Mi hijo me pido $10. I could write it out. I should. Anything 10 and under, you're supposed to type out. Me pido $10. Oh, me pide. He asks me. I don't ask myself. I do ask myself for money sometimes. There we go. Mi hijo me pide $10. Okay, so the verb pedir, the I in pedir changes to I. Lo repiten, yo pido, tú pides, ella pide, nosotros pedimos, vosotros pedís, and ustedes, ellos, ellas piden. So remember, which two forms do not stem change? We call them tercos, right? We call them stubborn. And which ones are those? The nosotros and the vosotros, okay? They don't stem change when there's a stem changing verb, but also nosotros is terco. Why? Because it doesn't change in the past tense. Okay, so it keeps its same conjugation in the preterite as well. So we'll review that a little later. Okay, look at number 2. It says, note the spelling of seguir. Has anybody else joined us since we started? Nope. Everybody's playing hooky today. Okay, so note the spelling of seguir. Okay, why is that U? Let's look at the verb seguir. Seguir. Anybody have any suggestions of why that U's in? Think of how you say seguir. And just like the Q, when I add the U to Q, Q never says qua in Spanish. It just says this. It's hard sound. It's just like in English, it's required for some reason. I don't know why. Follow, to follow, not to follow. So, but why might that U be in there? Okay. Take the U out, and what do we have? pronounce the word. Because what happens to
Seguir.
the letter? And so what if I take the U out? What do I have?
Seguir.
Seguir. Seguir. Because remember, G followed by I or E says it's the raspy H sound, right? So we have to have that U in there to give it its hard G sound. They want the verb to be seguir and not seguir. Okay? So that's why you have the spelling. So in the yo form, we don't need the U, right? See, the U's dropped out. If you look, you have sigo, sigue, sigue, seguimos, seguís, and siguen. Okay? So if the U is not there to make the I or make the G say its hard sound, it will be pronounced. So if I conjugated the verb seguir in the yo form and I kept the U in there, what would that verb say? The word would say siguo, because the U is not making the G say its hard sound. It would automatically say its hard sound with the O. So that's why the yo form, it's not a typo and it's not a misspelling. The G already says its hard sound. So the U in the other forms is only there to make the G say its hard sound. And therefore, the U is silent. Comprende? But if I leave it in the yo form, it makes siguo. And we don't want guo. Because if the U isn't serving the purpose of making the G say its hard sound, then it will be pronounced. Espero que es claro. Hopefully that's clear. And we'll talk about it again later. And then number 3, note that the present participle of these verbs also has I. Okay, so what's the present participle? Got some review here. Present participle is the ing form of the verb, right? Remember, I am playing, she is practicing, he is asking for $10. So we'll use that same example of my son. Está pidiendo $10. Okay. I love Google Spell Check, transferring from English to Spanish. It's so great. Okay. So está pidiendo $10. He is asking for $10. Remember the ing form. What's the rules for making the ing form? It's a form of estar plus the verb with ando for AR and yendo for ER and IR, right? So how do I say she is looking at the book? She is looking at the book. Use the verb mirar. Ella está mirando el libro. Muy bien. Perfecto. Just a little, un poco de repaso. Just a little bit of review. Okay. So notice that when I said that he is asking for $10, notice that the stem is changed in the present participle, right? It's not pidiendo, it's pidiendo. So it keeps that stem change in the present participle. So think of other ones like jugar and mostrar, those don't follow. Okay? He is jugar, remember jugar? What kind of ¿qué significa jugar? ¿Qué significa jugar? To play, right? Meaning to play a sport or to play something like that, not to play an instrument. Okay. And remember, it's a U. It's a U to UE stem changer, right? When we play yo juego, tú juegas, etc., right? So those ones, they don't keep the stem change. Okay. So if I want to say he is playing, él está jugando fútbol. Él está jugando fútbol. Okay. Should have an accent there. Sometimes the spell check was there and it went away. I don't know why. Okay, so I should have my accent there on football and está. I'm too lazy to find them. There we go. I'll just copy this. Anyways. There we go. There we go. Okay. So él está jugando fútbol. Okay. Notice it goes back to the regular letter there. But on these stem changers, this particular group of E to I stem changers, it keeps the stem change just in the present participle. Okay, so these are kind of the exception. All the other stem changers, no. Okay, like duerme, dormir, right? That's an O to UE stem changer. Él está durmiendo. It has a slight spelling change to it. So, okay. So going back, pedir is to ask for. Looking at the verbs under number 1. Servir, ¿qué significa servir? What are you typing? What's going on here? You guys are doing crazy. Yeah, U or O to UE, yeah. They don't keep the stem change in the present participle. Okay, so servir, what is servir? ¿Qué significa servir? To serve, muy bien. Sorry. Sounds like okay. And then the next one, repetir. What does repetir mean? Repetir. It's pretty much a cognate as well. I'm going to type that to repeat. Okay. Next one, freír, to fry. Why am I highlighted? Who highlighted this? There we go. Freír is to fry. Now, answer me this, and I need to get an accent on that icon. Why is there an accent over that I am freír? Why is there an accent on the I am freír? Because what's the rule? Okay, what are the weak vowels? Remember, there's 3 strong vowels and there are 3 weak vowels. And what are the two weak vowels? U and I. Okay, right. Very good. You and I. You and I are weak. Sounds like a terrible saying, but a good way to remember it. You and I are so weak. So you and I, and being a weak vowel, what happens when they're with another vowel? They form a what? They always combine with the strong vowel to become a diphthong. Remember diphthong? That lovely word. I think it's just a great word. Whoever came up with it deserves a reward. So if I don't have that accent in freír, how would I pronounce that word? It would be a single syllable because that I would combine with the E and it would be frer, frer, because the E and the I would be a frer. Okay, so we put the accent on the I, we want to give it a voice. It makes it strong whenever it has that accent on it, and it gets its own individual sound instead of diphthongizing, which is a real word. Imagine that. Instead of diphthongizing with the E. So that's where we get freír, freír. Okay. And so conjugate for me the verb freír. Copy, paste this in here. Okay, how would I conjugate that verb? Sorry about the capitalization. Google, that's one thing that drives me nuts about Google. So if that E changes to I, so that is doing something a little different here. Okay, so it's a little interesting. Frio. Frio is the correct for the first one. But what's happening is almost like the E is just completely disappearing here. Okay, so what's going to be the to form? If I just, instead of changing the E to I, because what's going to happen? Something's got to give here. Because you have an E and an I. I guess, yeah. So the E does change to an I. Drop off the IR. Frio. Frias, yeah. So yeah. You're trying to do past tense there, Nehemiah. So it'd be fries. See the accent on that E there. Let me dig up some accents. Okay, so put your accents up at the top. So Nima, just present tense here. So fríes, you need the E in there. So grab your yeah. So you have your accented I, so that's perfect. Fríes. Usted la leía, fríe. Muy bien. Freímos. Freís. Fríen. Muy bien. Perfecto. It's just weird that the accent is on the ending. That's just really weird that there would be an accent on the I that's actually in the ending, the A-R-E-R-I-R. So I think this is the only one I can think of. It has an accent on the verb ending. Es interesante. Okay, so again, looking at this accent here, if we don't have that accent over the I in all these, what do you get? You get a single syllable. I fry, yo frío. But what's really ironic? But what is hace frío? What is the term when we're talking about weather? What does hace frío mean?
Means, yeah.
It's cold, right? But frying is frío. So it's muy interesante, kind of the play on. I don't even know that's a play on word. I would love to know the history of that. Because if I say hace frío, it's cold. But if I say yo frío, I fry. How can it's such a just juxtaposition there? How the same word can have two completely opposite meanings. Okay. Looking at seguir, again, we have that spelling change just to give that G its hard sound, and vestirse to get dressed. Okay, remember, what kind of verb is vestirse? Any verb that has se on the end of it. What category of verb is that called? When you're
Spain?
doing the action.
Is it
When you're doing
Spain?
the action to yourself. No, not Spain. When you're doing the action to yourself, what kind of verb is that? I comb my hair, I brush my teeth, I put on reflexive. There you go. Okay. So vestirse, reflexive verb, which means you have to have the reflexive pronoun in front of it. So me visto, te vistes, se viste, nos vestimos, os vestís, and se visten. Okay. All right. So, without too many other people here, I don't want to go too much farther. This is a pretty simple one. It's just the E to I stem changers. We're familiar with stem changers, so they just happen to pull these off in a group by themselves. Each curriculum kind of does it slightly different. I don't want to get into we can look at página 114. Page página 114. ¿Dónde está? There we go. Okay, so nationality. Okay, so what have we learned about adjectives? Okay, if an adjective ends in O, how many endings does it have? How many different forms does it have?
What was the question?
An adjective that ends in O, how many different forms does it have? Like sencillo or
That's
bonito.
4.
Yeah, right. Okay, so it has bonito, bonita, bonitos, bonitas, right? And then an adjective ending in any other letter has how many forms?
4.
2.
2, yeah, very good, Sid. Has 2, right? Just the singular and the plural. It doesn't care about masculine or feminine. So a word like final or simple or whatever, right? So simple would be simple and simples. Final would be final y finales, right? You just have the singular and plural form. The exception is when it comes to nationality. Nationality, regardless of what letter it ends in, will always have 4. Okay, so take a nationality like Alemán. Anybody know what Alemán is? German. Okay. And again, nationality doesn't take a capital in Spanish. Remember, Spanish is minimalistic when it comes to capitalization. But if you forget and you do capitalize, it's not a big deal. Okay, so let's look at Alemán. Okay, normally, if it were a regular adjective, we would just have Alemán and alemanes. And so those two forms still work. How do you think we cover the feminine? Okay, so we have Alemán as masculine singular. What's feminine singular? What would be the most logical way to do it? Just like if it were Mexicano, what's the feminine form of Mexicano?
An A at the end.
Right, yeah. So that's simply what we do. We just take it and we put an A in it. So feminine, so I'm going to go ahead and type it. Alemana. Perfecto. And then just like Mexicano, Mexicana, what's the plural of Mexicana? Mexicanas, right? So we're going to do the same thing. We made alemana, so the plural is going to be alemanas. Alemanas. Okay, so let's look at Japanese. Japonés. Oops. Japonés, and that does have an accent on it. Oh. There we go. So Japonés is Japanese. So what are going to be my 4? Go ahead and so what would be the masculine plural form of Japonés? Don't need the accent. I'll explain to you why. So masculine plural. Follows the same rules for any other adjective. So japonés es. Oops. Japoneses, So that's masculine plural. So what's going to be the feminine singular? Feminine singular will be japonesa. Japonesa. Okay. Feminine plural form, japonesas. Okay. So for masculine plural, it always follows the same rules for pluralizing any. So same with like French. Okay. Looking at the book there. If you look at looking at number 1, you have Nicaragüense. Nicaragüense. They have the 2 dots above the U. That means to make the W sound with the U. That's called umlaut, right? The 2 dots are called an umlaut. So un plato nicaragüense, Nicaraguan in English. I have a hard time not putting my Spanish accent on Spanish words. So Nicaraguan. Okay, so if I want to say a Nicaraguan plate or dish, like meaning talking about food, I say un plato nicaragüense. Okay, but if it's okay. But adjectives of nationality, when you're talking about people, español, okay, a Spanish girl, una chica española, or food, un restaurante español, una comida española. And I think they have a misspelling there. I don't know why it didn't change. Looking at number 1, why Nicaragüense, why isn't it una comida nicaragüense? It should be, because a Nicaraguan person, una chica nicaragüense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Are we on page 15?
114. Okay, so if it ends in E, like Nicaragüense, it doesn't change to A. And I guess I didn't realize that. There's not too many adjectives of nationality that end in E. So if you read, it says adjective of nationalities that end in O or E follow the same pattern as any other adjective. So that's why, so Nicaragüense will not exist. But like I said, there's very few nationalities that end in E. Most of them end in a consonant or an O. Okay. So, un restaurante español, una comida española. Adjectives of nationality that end in S or N have a written accent in the masculine singular, like francés, catalán. Remember, notice it loses it because you're adding syllables, so it no longer needs a written stress mark. It'll fall there naturally. So catalán, the accent is on, right? I add an A to it, I've added another syllable, therefore I don't need the accent. Catalana, catalanes, catalanas. Catalan, what's Catalan? What's that? Where if a person is una persona catalana, where are they from?
Carolina?
No, it's the Barcelona region of Spain. Catalan, they're kind of like an autonomous area, but yet still part of Spain. So it's kind of like Puerto Rico, where they have their own government, but they pay some taxes to the US, but we still are responsible for helping them, and they join our military when they join the military. Same with Catalan. Sorry, I don't know why people are calling me. Okay. So, some other common adjectives of nationality that end in a consonant are inglés, so English. So if he's an English boy, un chico inglés, but una chica inglesa. Portugués, irlandés, Irish, japonés, and alemán, right? So Portugués. So Nicaragüense is one of those things. Like I said, I don't know of too many nationalities that actually end in E. But if it ends in E, it doesn't take a feminine form. It keeps the E. Okay. Es todo para hoy. Nos vemos mañana, Sydney. We'll see each other tomorrow. So,
Actually, I won't be there because I have a dentist appointment.
tell your dentist it's not okay to have a dentist appointment at that time. Did your mom forget when she made the appointment?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Spanish is more important than a dentist appointment. But it's okay. That's only my opinion. Okay. Hasta luego. Adiós.
Adios.